Where the hell is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, celebrating its 10-year anniversary, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back and relax, and let's welcome your hosts, Blake, Sal, and Mark.
It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fun. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to trust the bus. Ripping someone's head off. No, you made contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he said, she said, bullshit. You better quit. That shit's good. Just one of those.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 466. And boy, I needed that intro today. It has been a fucking week, and I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to get more details, but fuck the Kia boys. All right. I'm your host. I'm one of your hosts, Blake. Let me bring on my co-host. First of all, the man who dealt with one of the weirdest, like, weather things from Canada with the smog and the smoke and the red skies last week. Speaking of podcasting, Sal, how you doing?
I can breathe. The sky is blue, believe it or not. It's been nice.
That was fucked up. I can see that with mask wearing the pandemic. And
I was this close to going back.
Yay. Let's bring on our other co-host, the man, myth, the legend, the master of the outside pool, who's been working on that for the last 2 weeks. It's our last time together.
He's a pool boy.
How you doing?
Hey, you know what? The
Mark the pool
is,
boy.
yeah, the pool's in one piece. I don't see any leaks. I put chemicals in it. I vacuumed it out today. I put together the new ladder that you guys are gonna like. So as the water gets warmer and the weather gets better, it's pool time.
You know what's funny is that Dad said to say this nice thing about pools, and also the music just and I'm going to break your fucking face today in the background. It's funny. You guys are hearing it, but I'm hearing it in the background. It was very, very funny timing. On the podcast, I do hearing that. It was very, very funny. So anyway, after the weekend we had it, again, not getting details. I told Sal, like, we had a different opening for the show. I'm like, fuck it, I need this opening today. It is Limp Bizkit break stuff. I needed to rage a little bit to open up this damn show. So there you go. But I don't think you've ever actually opened with this song before, Sal. I don't think we ever have. Can you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so there you go. I broke out a song that we needed. I needed it badly after this past week. So that is that.
And it's over.
All right, gentlemen. How are we doing today? In all seriousness, like, how is everybody today? Because I know I'm literally scrambling from doing a lot of work today, so I'm literally scrambling to get started on the show today. Like, I'm still getting my run sheet up on the screen here. That's how much I'm scrambling today. So, Sal, how are you doing? We actually spoke like 2 weeks ago on the show. Like, how are you doing? Besides the weather, the weird red skies you dealt with.
Yeah. I read somewhere that it might be making a return for a few more days, because the wind direction's changing.
Oh fuck!
But so far everything's good.
Can it not be? Can it not be when I'm there on vacation? Can it not be then? Like, I'm literally there in 2 weeks. Can it not be then?
Well,
yeah, right.
What was really strange is when they started taking pictures, everyone said the same thing and I did. It looks very similar to the images of 911.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I'm thinking with 9/11 level. I've done 9/11 level because I lived out there.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go. Yeah,
no, definitely not. No, definitely not compared to 9/11 at all. No way. No way.
You know, like
it looked like we were. It looked like we were on Mars.
That one I'll give you. You. Yeah, I'll give you Mars.
So New York and New Jersey were being invaded?
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that called?
And Pennsylvania.
Isn't that called? Wait a minute. Hold on, Sal. New Jersey, New York. Don't they get invaded by Connecticut people all the time?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Philadelphians. I'm sorry. I got confused. Philadelphians.
Damn them Boston people.
Oh my god. All right. I guess we should get started now since I got everything set up here. That was me kind of stalling to get the soundboard up. Help support the show on all platforms. You can find the show on our project we work on at theblakeandsalshow.com. So
Yes, and you can buy our shirt stickers, hoodies, security stamps, and more
what?
from our TeePublic store. Go to our website or click TeePublic on our website or go to TeePublic at Social Blake and Tasha.
Hey, do we have our Blake and Stale show with Mark Smog scarves in yet?
What?
Smog
Ooh.
scarves.
The smog scarves. I didn't know what the hell you're talking about. No, we don't have those. It's now
Is that a scarf that has smog built into it?
or
It's a
or
scarf you
smog.
put over your face so you don't breathe in the smog.
You don't have to wear a mask. I think that's what he's trying to get to.
Okay.
We
Oh.
suddenly have an anti-mask thing on the show. All of a sudden, where'd that come from? Where the hell did that
Where'd that go?
come
This segment brought to you by Squirt.
from? Ay.
A little squirt will do ya.
I got Sago over here. I got Diet Sago over here. So, all right, let's go to break. We'll come right back. All right, we're back. Real fast, as always, go pick up Mandy's book. I Know I Am, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Arntab Publishing, and apparently in a library here in Wisconsin. Available in English and in Spanish. By the way, I love when I bring up the book to people that don't know about it. I'm like, wait, you write for a book? What happened? I still get that a year later. I still get that.
Have you been living under a rock?
Or they just haven't talked to me about it. One or the other. But a lot of people at Sinai, I haven't seen in a year. So like a lot of them I haven't seen in like a year, and now I'm there every week now. So that's another thing. Like I'm catching up with people I haven't seen in a while.
There you go.
And then of course the Nadine and Mandy show available on all podcasting platforms. They would have done a show this week, but it's been that kind of week, and they decided not to do the show this week. So next week, we'll be back. Just literally things happen, and they had to not do the show this week. So there you go.
Will their next show be a venting show?
I don't know. It's not my show. I have no clue. I don't know what's going on their show. I don't know. I only edit the show. I don't do anything else. I literally don't do anything else but promote it, and I edit it. I don't do anything else on their show. I don't know what they're going to do until after they do it. So,
Okay.
like, I find out like literally maybe a couple of days before everyone else does. So, and it's usually I usually edit their show after I do our show. So, like, usually back to back. So, all right. Oh, one more thing, actually. So, Sal, remember a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, actually, I said I heard randomly heard me and Mandy's 2-second tunes on Carl and Anthony show replay randomly.
Yes.
Randomly. Same thing happened again on Monday. I'm listening to the show, and I hear Mandy and CJ when last year back to school they did in September. They did a wrestling themed 2-second tunes, and they replayed it on Monday.
Yay.
So it's
All
only
right.
a matter of time now before yours and mine gets replayed. It's only a matter of time.
It feels like it's on the horizon.
No, come on. It's like you can't be that much far off. And ours is a fun one. So maybe let's tie it in with like football season or something. That'd be fun. So if you want to see us on 2-second tunes, I did have the video is up on our Instagram page. And it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
It really is. My mom said it was fun. She watched it and she said it was hysterical. So that says a lot. She never says much positive things about the podcast, so here is something positive was nice for a change. We'll get the negativity in a few minutes. For the moment, this week we literally have one thing on this week in Blake and It's actually me and Dad. We did a live show at MLW at the Waukesha Expo Center on June 14th, 2019. I can't believe that was 4 years ago already.
Mhm.
We did that. We interviewed Rick Bertini. Dad interviewed Marshall Von Erich and Ringo Loco, and then we got a rare, maybe not even like 4-minute interview with Jacob Fatu.
Yeah,
very rare. He doesn't do
Yes.
many interviews. He didn't do many interviews, and we happened to be in person, and he talked to us for a few minutes. That was really cool.
And then that was the night.
Oh yes, I would say you tell my story. I mean, it's the same story. I'm telling you. You tell yours first. It might be the same one.
No, go ahead. It's the same one involving a certain wrestler that
Timmy Callahan.
That's the
Oh, yeah,
one.
I'll tell the story. So they have not been back to the Waukesha Expo Center. Oh, number one, pandemic. Number two, they had to pay with hundreds of dollars
Mhm.
back to the venue because Sammy Callahan broke a wall during a street
Oh. It was the one of the overhead doors, like
Yeah, but
for
it
a
broke. But,
storage
it was
area.
not but he threw someone into a door and then threw
Yeah.
someone into a wall and broke both things, and they had to pay the venue, and they haven't been back since.
Yep.
Oops.
And it wasn't too long after that when they kind of like told Sammy, Bye.
Isn't Sammy an Impact now? Isn't he back in Impact? I think it will be.
Yes,
I think
he's an
I-
Impact, and
Yeah.
here's the thing with Sammy. At first, I didn't recognize him because he has gained some weight, but he's still as crazy, batshit crazy as ever.
I think OVE just actually reformed recently. So that's,
Yes.
I haven't said it. I haven't said it in 4 years. So there you go. Anyway,
No.
let's go back real fast. I promised that on the last show that we'd go back and look at TikTok and comments. Shit that was said to us. I love making fun of this stuff. There hasn't been a whole lot, actually. Ironically, I thought we were going to get some shit for our hockey stuff, but we didn't get any stuff for last week's show. We got people liking it, and a lot of people watched it, but no one talked any shit, which was nice. I thought we were going to get
Yes.
shit for our defensive, like, of the Jack Adams Trophy award that we put up last week. But before we get about Dad, I do want to say I'm still getting shit for my thoughts on Booker T. I'm still getting shit on this. I'm still getting it. Apparently, I can't talk shit about Booker T's commentary because apparently I got this comment. It was right after, actually, it was right before the show. You were supposed to be on with us now, and then you had to you went to Britney Spears instead. Britney Spears' Broadway show instead. So I moved this to now. I got a comment. It was this checks every terrible wrestling fan stereotypical box. Ouch. All because I'm talking shit about Booker T's commentary. What the fuck?
Ducky, ducky, quack, quack.
I couldn't believe it. Like I'm still getting that. And then okay, so Sal, you took a week off. You took a week off to go see What the Bottom one more time. Talked about that on
Yes.
last week's show.
Still thinking about it.
Yes. Sal, Dad here. So Sal, you were in here when we were talking about Billy Corgan saying that wrestling, you're not a real wrestling fan if you're not currently watching NWA and supporting Tyrus. Not joking, he said that. So we wanted up on the show 2 weeks ago, and I put up a video because it was a good conversation we were having. And Dad doesn't rant much. Dad does not rant much, and he ranted.
No.
I put the clip up of him ranting, and I immediately, I'm actually with my. I put the show. This went up on Thursday morning, the day before the show goes up. Just behind the scenes, if you're following us, I always put a video clip up the day before the show goes up. So if you ever want to see our videos, it goes up on Thursday morning, on Friday morning show. And Thursday morning, I put the show up before I went to work. And I had an early start that day because I had some things to do. And then I was working with my boss for the second half of the day. I was doing some things with my boss. And I was literally just talking to him about how we put stuff up on TikTok. And I have to deal with people commenting on it. A lot of times it's negative shit. And literally just as I say that, my phone dings. And it's an alert from TikTok about Dad's rant about Billy Corgan. And the guy says, by the way, my favorite part about this, he says this and then follows me on TikTok, which I thought was pretty damn funny. I thought that was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
And he says, wow, this is some living in mom's basement shit. I didn't respond back immediately because I'm like, no, I'm not letting this one go. I'm like, you realize this guy is in his 60s, right? So there's that. He's like, I think he probably realized, oh shit. Oh shit. My apologies.
See? I know what I'm talking about, especially
Exactly.
when it comes to that particular product. And
No,
Mr. Corrigan.
I thought it was funny as hell. Like this guy wants to slam. I'm like, look at the damn guy. He's not a fucking teenager. He's obviously older, probably than you watching the video. I'm gonna guarantee. Like,
Well, thank you for the backhand compliment.
I'm not trying to take a shot, but it's the truth. Like, there are a lot of people, the audience of TikTok, I've seen the number of people that watch my videos, and most of the videos that people are watching are 20, 25 to 30 years old. And it's not a shot against you, it's just what it is. You know? So it's not like, so obviously you're gonna be older than them. So like, give me a fucking break here.
So what, do you think I'm like 25 and still working out of my mom's basement? That's great.
I should take that as a compliment.
Times 2 and a
But
half.
no, you should take that as a
There you
compliment
go.
though, if they think that.
Yeah, it's a backhand compliment. But to the
You're
guy
compliment.
the guy that mentioned that, here's the thing. I bet you're in your mom's basement working and you're 26. And you're probably still playing Nintendo NES.
Oh my God. That was amazing. I didn't expect that. That was funny.
You know, from far away, he kind of looks like someone that would be living in his mom's basement. Just saying.
Ouch.
Oh my
But thank you for the attention, DJV.
Chris Burton said he follows me after putting that up. I thought that was
DJV. You know what DJV stands for? Demented Juvenile Violent.
Ooh. I hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, call in on our next anniversary show and tell us how much we suck.
Yeah,
We're
We're not suck.
By the way, behind the scenes, I was thinking about doing a live show for next week, but I just didn't have the time to plan it out. So I'm like, fuck it, we'll do it a little bit later this time. Maybe SummerSlam. We'll do a live show. I just don't have the energy next week. I don't have the energy. So, all right, let's move on. We have a bunch of stuff to get to before we even get into the wrestling. So, having a
Wait,
final.
what the hell was that? I didn't even hear it.
Apparently, this is the biggest goal song. There.
Okay.
Sounds like a slot machine.
This is Vegas Lights by Panic at the Disco. It is
Really?
Okay.
the goal song for me now. I can't believe I'm saying this sentence. The 2023 Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. Holy hell!
You know what's crazy when they were finally announced that they were joining the league, and the owner said we will win a cup in 6 years, and here we are 6 years later, and they won a cup. It's just absolutely. I love saying this word. I was flabbergasted.
You do love that word.
I
love that
do.
Isn't this- Does this make this their second cup?
No, this is their first cup. Their second trip to the finals.
First,
They won. They went to the finals their first year.
Right.
They lost to Washington.
which is absurd.
That's absurd.
Right.
On its own. That's absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that was that weird season where basically they
No.
just had a hot streak.
They were on a hot streak, but they were not supposed to do that. Like that was unreal.
Yeah, no
They
one
made it
figured
all the
that
way to.
out.
They played Washington in the finals.
Yeah.
That
no
was
one
the year
figured-
Ovechkin finally got his cup. That was the year Ovechkin finally got his cup.
So now basically Las Vegas can tell everyone to suck it.
Wow, that's pretty much what happened during the
Pretty much.
celebration. Thousands of people. Yeah, you didn't see the reaction. They had thousands of people outside the T-Mobile Arena for this shit game. It made the remember when the Bucks won the NBA championship and they had everyone in the Deer District? This
Yeah.
made that to shame.
Wow.
To shame. Like holy fuck. Well, the difference also was, as I was telling Salisbury watching the Cup celebration, it's only 8 o'clock. It's 8 p.m. in Vegas when the game is over. So they still got what? The sun's still out. The sun was still out. So I'm like, I can remember the last time. Maybe when the Kings won the last time the Kings won. The last time we saw a Stanley Cup celebration in the daylight like that. Like that was crazy.
And I'm sure the bars and casinos were overrun with fans. So.
Actually, I'll tell a quick story. After game one in Vegas, because Vegas had the home ice, they showed a swim-up bar that they had set up outside the T-Mobile Arena. and they had big screens and a swim-up bar, and there's people like in bikinis and trunks swimming up to the bar watching hockey. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
As you do. As you do.
I've never seen that in Florida. Only in Vegas. That would only be in Vegas.
only in Vegas.
So
But
anyway,
you know what this does, though? This is going to be fantastic for
the league.
Las Vegas and even for the state of Nevada too, because it's like, Vegas it's a sports town. You know what I mean?
Now it
Like
is.
it's not just
Yeah.
it's not just a casino town. It's not just a tourist town.
Right.
It's a sports town.
I agree. It's crazy. And what's fun about it now is that the NHL was the first official league in, and they got the championship. It's the first championship. I'm so happy that happened.
Yeah.
So on the record, they won the series 4-1. They did an unprecedented thing. They scored 9 goals in Game 5, winning the game 9-3. It was tied for the most goals ever in a cup clinching game. Mark Stone, the captain of the team, scored a hat trick, and it was the first time since 1922 that that there was a hat trick in a cup clinching game.
Yeah,
Something-
22 or 24. I can't
There's some
remember.
ridiculous number like that. So like a lot of crazy shit happened in this game.
Man, that is a good record to break.
And it was in Vegas. The game was in Vegas, which is even crazier. So,
Mhm.
oh yeah, what a night. What a great thing. And I cannot wait to see pictures from the parade. Because I have no idea what a Vegas championship parade looks like. I have zero clue.
Well, unfortunately, they don't even know what a Vegas
I
championship
know. I
game
can't,
looks like. So
can't wait. So
I can see him going down Las Vegas Boulevard and confetti and wonderful.
hookers.
okay. Well, I remember Sal. There was that.
That's
strip
at the
club.
end of the parade.
Your dad doesn't even know this part. There was a strip. This is 100% legitimate. We're not even joking. There was a strip club in Vegas that said if you win the cup, the entire team gets free lap dances.
For life.
There you go.
So there you go.
And
they're
that's
making good
why.
on it.
They
And
better
and
cash
that
in
is
on that last
why.
night. They better cash in on that last night.
And that is why they won. It's called incentive.
Oh my god! I remember that was in the fucking conference finals, wasn't it? When they had him out there in the conference finals.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much.
So to
alright.
get on with this,
Okay.
as
Yes.
far as predictions,
Yes. We have to wrap up our game, Sal. Me, Sal, Mike, and Leandra. And for those who have not been paying attention to the other shows that drop on the feed that are on the main show or on YouTube because you don't want to subscribe to the show, we've been doing a playoff prediction game over on extra shows. And Sal, would you believe it? If one of us picked this series perfect and they said Vegas 5, one of us would have won.
I know.
That's how crazy the team ended up being, despite how insane it was at one point. So you want to give the final results for this crazy game because I've been doing the updates, so you can do the results, final results.
Yeah, so I guess we'll go from the bottom to the top. So Mike finished out in last with 44 points, and he gained no points in the finals. Blake, you came out in third with a respectable 80,
I'll take that.
gaining 25 points in the finals for picking the winner. I sneaked out a second place victory, also gaining 25 points for picking out the winner. I had 89, and Leandra, who dominated the first 2 rounds,
Yeah.
she received 0 points for the finals and stayed at 96. So yeah, so you're right. If we had both, or if one of us had said 5, I think you said 6 too,
We
right?
both said 6. We both said Vegas.
Yes.
Ironically,
So
if they
one
went to
of-
6, you would have still won, but at least the whole like standings would have been completely out of whack.
Yeah.
you take a look at Leandra and holy cow, 96 fucking.
Yeah,
points.
I can get the spreadsheet up because it was unreal how lopsided this got at one point. Because I sent Sal this up before I recorded the shows a lot of times. Or I sent the group. I sent the group the spreadsheets. So everyone knew where they stood, and like it got so out of hand at one point. Like it
So,
was
Yeah.
insane.
What's her secret on the prediction?
I don't know. I don't know what
Does she have like a crystal ball or something?
I don't know what she did. Maybe
Well, I think it was the second round that she got everything right except for one series.
Damn.
think
I got it right over. I got it. Actually, here we go. I have it in front of me.
Okay.
The second round, she had Florida in 7, and they won in 5. Carolina in 5. Obviously, they won in 5 over Dallas. She had Dallas in 7 and Vegas in 7. So she got 2 series is perfect. It's all 4 teams right.
Wow.
That's how
Holy
she won
cow.
Right there is how she won this thing.
How is that possible?
Like, I'm impressed. And by the way, for those who don't
Yeah.
know the score, is in the second round especially, it was 10 points per correct and 25 points for the series. So that's how she ended up dominating.
Hey, can we take her to like on track betting at some casino and maybe we can make some money?
Yay. So yeah, that is
I'm
that. Wanted to make sure we closed out that, and I will put up a post on Friday. Congratulating Leandra for this victory.
Great job.
Yeah.
In other news, before we get to the wrestling stuff, breaking news broke. Right, literally, we're all just sitting down. We're right before Dynamite. Right before Dynamite this week. Well, Dynamite before Raw this week. But all of a sudden, news broke that Pat Sajak's retiring from Wheel of Fortune after next season, after the 41st season of the show. I was stunned, but I was sure if Pat's going to retire, I'm almost thinking, is Vanna going to retire next?
I thought that
I
they
say
were,
she-
Fair.
I
Say
thought
she
that they
takes
were
over.
like I
Maybe.
thought that they were like a package set.
I know. I don't know if you watched the Celebrity Wheel of Fortune style at all, but they did Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, and Vanna was a contestant,
Yes.
and Maggie Sajak did the actual letters.
Yes.
So that was an interesting situation. What was funny is that it kept throwing Pat off because it kept looking at Maggie and saying Vanna. It kept going. I edited out of that, but it was very funny. They did not edit it out. It made it even funnier.
So
Well, in 2024, the letters can flip themselves. So Vanna theoretically could very easily take over hosting duties, at
If she
least for a
wants to.
little bit
If she
until
wants
she's
to.
ready to go.
if she wants to, of course. Yeah.
Or she
So,
could just,
I mean-
sprint back and forth for a half an hour. That'd be fucking hysterical.
All she's got to do is
Get a
just point to the.
Get a
All she's
remote.
got to do is point to the board, and the letters will flip. So, I
You
mean,
could give her an iPad. She could just touch
There you
it on
go.
there. And then
Perfect.
Yeah, there you
it'll
go.
flip to the screen.
there you go.
Perfect.
There you go. So, has been no names.
No,
Man's-
they literally just broke. It just broke, and I
Okay.
guarantee it's gonna get closer because they still got. They're filming. They're starting to film next season now in September. They're starting to film in September for
Okay.
next, or something like that. I don't remember how they're doing it, but they're filming next season soon. And the first episode, and I guarantee by the end of next season, we'll find out what's going on. Probably toward 2024, we'll figure it out. Oh, trust me, when we find out, we'll talk about it because I'm interested in this because I don't know what's going to happen here because we don't know anything. It's like when Bob Barker left Price is Right and ended up with Drew Carey. That's what it just feels like. Like it's weird. By the way,
Very.
Sajak, by the way, did pass Bob Barker's record of most years on television.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
crazy. It's crazy. So, Sal, why don't you take this last non-wrestling start because you've been following this as much as I have, but you've also been more paying attention to it this week because I've been busy doing other things. So, go ahead, Sal.
Yeah, so the Ottawa Senators have been sold. It was not to Deadpool. I'm very upset.
Or
Yeah,
what was the other celebrity one? The
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart.
No, Snoop Dogg legitimately was actually putting up money to buy the Senators. I'm not joking about that. That was the thing that was going on.
Yeah. I guess he couldn't find somebody else to help him out, but it was eventually sold to some Toronto businessman that I've never heard of before. His name is Michael Andlauer. And apparently this is a record for the most money for being purchased at $950 million, which I didn't think the Ottawa Senators were worth that much, but whatever.
Wow.
Man,
That's
I think he
insane.
overpaid.
Definitely overpaid for a team and had won a cup in their current form. So,
So, I mean,
Mhm.
I
I had to word it that way, Stop, because I didn't want anyone like they won a cup back in their original. I don't counting that. No one counts that.
So my thing is,
you're a stupid little punk from a basement.
living in your mother's basement. There you go. $950 million. I mean,
Are you going to isolate that, by the way?
I might just have to.
I mean, if you look at this and you're looking at it as a business investment, why are you investing in a team that basically isn't worth the money?
I don't know. They're not good.
Yeah,
They're
that seems like a gross overpayment, but
Yeah.
what do I know?
We're also not multi-billionaires. So
Maybe,
This is true.
yeah.
Maybe I'll get a refund.
But like
950 million to him is probably like $20 to us. So-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, I just remembered something. Before we actually move out of this, I did watch a documentary over the weekend. Speaking of NHL and sales and everything, I was watching Once Upon a Time in Anaheim, the story of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize, Sal, is that Gary Bettman was not the commissioner yet when the Ducks became a franchise. He literally became commissioner like days after Michael Eisner announced that the team is coming to the NHL. This was like the first thing he had to deal with Disney coming into the NHL. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a thing to jump into.
Yeah.
But no, I must watch, by the way, for any hockey fan. It was a fantastic hour and it flew by. It was a flew by hour. It was a really, really good thing. And the fun part was that they broke down like the entire first how the movie was made and then how the movie became the franchise and then went from there. They even interviewed Michael Eisner now for it. And he doesn't do
Okay.
interviews anymore. So that was a very big deal. Like it was really cool to see Michael Eisner again. So it was a really good hour. It's on ESPN Plus. It's if you're on the if you pay for ESPN Plus, it's literally an hour commercial free. So it's really, really well done. So definitely a high recommend. It's an E60. And if I could plug one more thing, I plugged it over on the Lakers House Show Instagram. The one thing they also talked about was the infamous opening night pregame show. Which if you've never seen the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim's first game opening day pregame show, it is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. Ever.
Lasers and everything.
Lumiere was there. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh, well, there we go.
Lumiere was there. There was a guy named the Iceman that was fired
You know
48
what
hours
they say,
after. That was
Can't be a party unless it's a Lumiere party.
No, so
That just sounds like a really bad fever dream.
trust me, I watched it, and then well, the reason I'm saying is because we did a special episode over on D5, the Mighty Ducks, for MMX at home, the first one. It was me, Mike, and Tyranny Steel, and we sat down and we rewatched that entire bizarre pre-show thing together on Zoom, and I put the videos up on the videos up on YouTube. The show is up on D5. It's definitely worth a listen to because it's really really funny. We had a lot of fun.
Was like Mrs. Potts the bartender?
No. It was only Maria was the only one, but Nikki was there, which was weird. But my favorite part was like Wild Wing is coming down from the sky. There was like it was like the ice capades going. It was like Disney on Ice is going on the ice. Like it was so bizarre. And then there was a guy dressed in white with a white face paint with a guitar.
The best thing I think would have been is
I have to go back and watch that high. I really do have to go back and
the
watch it.
best thing I think would have been is
Ah, the
if you had
90s.
Goofy skating on the ice and falling on his ass.
They did show, by the way. I forgot this happens now with Wild the documentary. I forgot this happened that Wild Wing was trying to go through a ring of fire and missed and got lit on fire on the ice.
Oops. Oops.
Fire not good for ice.
Oh my god, it was hysterical. I forgot that happened. And then people give shit to the Carolina Hurricanes for their like weird post-game celebrations. We had a Wild Wing go to a ring of fire and pregame.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So I just had to promote that because it was really, really a lot of fun. All right.
And now let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
All right. Before we get into see how is this going to work today? Because next week we have from Indoor. The week after that we have Money in the Bank. So we're not going to go in the full like breaking down television stuff this week because we have the pay-per-views coming up the next couple of weeks. But we are going to do the big stuff today. Before we get into all the news and all the weirdness, we haven't had a chance to talk about the Iron Sheik, who passed away at 81 years old. We haven't had a chance to talk about him, and I believe it was actually right after we would have recorded last week, so we wouldn't have had a chance last week's show. We wouldn't have had a chance.
Right.
So this is a good opportunity. At least we didn't have the situation where they broke into Dynamite and they broke in the middle of a match to tell everybody, and then we're back to the match. It's like Billy Graham. That didn't happen.
Isn't it kind of ironic that the air his biography on A&E
Oh
a
yeah,
couple weeks later?
passes.
Yeah.
At 81.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this. Actually, you want to hear something even more ironic? About a couple months ago, we had an archive show up, right? A couple months ago, and that archive show is called Off the Beaten Path. And in that episode, Sal, you'll remember this. Back in our first year, we were making some shows in case we needed a week off, and you needed a week off. So I put the show up, and we were making fun of Hall of Fame speeches. In front of
Oh my lord.
and one of these speeches we did was the Iron Sheik.
Oh my lord.
And I just put that episode up like a month ago.
Oh
I
god.
remember that.
And I don't listen back to archive a lot of times. I'll edit the show, but like I downloaded the show to make sure it sounded good. And I was sitting there listening to it, and I'm howling, listening back. How hilarious that speech was. We did that, and then we did Bob Backlund's speech also. But the Iron Sheik one is an all-time fucking classic. I just wanted to say that just posted like a month ago. So go back to our last archive show. You can hear us talk about that. Yeah, this is a weird one because
I feel like it came out of left field, even though he was 81. You know.
yeah, that's true. That combination of things, that's true. Nick Hoffman has invited me to an event. I'll talk about that in a second. Sorry, I got distracted. I haven't heard Nick Hoffman in a while, so I got distracted. Anyway,
I didn't hear that he had any type of illness or anything like that, as far as I know. I mean,
I don't know, maybe he was
broken.
older and wrestling bodies and things like that. And I mean, things happen. And I mean, older wrestlers die. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but they do. So, like, you know, like, but what was I saying? I got distracted by what I was going to say. But I guess for me, this is wrestling was obviously before my time. It wasn't something I've seen. I've seen videos. I've seen the clips. I've never, and outside of the Gimmick Battle Royal, I really never really saw him in the ring. That was I didn't watch it. Wasn't watching back then. Obviously for people nowadays, you know, a Twitter account because that was fucking the funniest thing. So a little behind the scenes in the Twitter account. So apparently that started as him, and then as he got older, he had a couple of his relatives shooting the tapes out for him. but he was still telling them what to say. So if that makes people feel better, he was the one. He was doing his own Twitter account. If that makes people feel better. So, so yeah, I don't have a whole lot for me personally because I never saw him. I never really was before my time. But he's a legend. Oh, and another thing I will say, if you watch Young Rock, which just got canceled after 3 seasons, they had the guy playing him in there was fucking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The guy that played Iron Sheik on Young Rock. So I just also want to say that. Sal, any word before we send it to Dad because we know Dad's got a lot to say.
Yeah, I do remember watching the Iron Sheik a few times on television. I always remember being so fascinated with how evil he looked, you know what I mean, with that whole thing that was going on, even in the world, not just necessarily in the wrestling world. Um, but I remember watching him on TV, and just being just my eyes were glued because he was just so bad and evil, and it was like one of those things where you couldn't take your eyes off of him. And then obviously later on in life, I was able to look him up and watch matches back from YouTube and stuff like that. And like you just mentioned, the Twitter. I mean, he became probably more famous because of his Twitter account. And I made this comment to you, Blake. I'm pretty sure it was to you when I said I think the thing I'm going to miss the most is his Twitter account. Because
You're not
it was
wrong.
so outrageous. But
Yeah.
fuck the Hulk Hogan. Rest in
Fuck
peace.
the Hulk Hogan, yes, indeed. Dad,
Yeah.
to you.
I mean, this is a guy that represented his country, Iran, in the Olympics. I was an Olympic athlete in wrestling. And he said there's 2 things that you in his country that you did. You either did wrestling or you worked like in the oil fields. And he chose wrestling and made a career out of it and went to the Olympics and represented his country, and he did a phenomenal job. In fact, he was so phenomenally in shape that basically they were coming to him to keep like military guys in shape and working with those clubs and which in itself is an art because how much the clubs weigh and the maneuvers. I'm surprised he's never clocked himself in the head a couple times. But he did a phenomenal job, was in phenomenal shape. And when I got to see him, perform, I mean, generated some very, very serious heat at the time. I mean, enough heat that there were fans that wanted to basically come into the ring, and I'm sure he probably would have kicked their ass. He was always like talked about as far as how his camel clutch was, because when you look at him doing it, he sits in very deep and got your upper trunk extended, into a position where it's not normal. And he gained the championship over Bob Backlund when Bob Backlund's manager threw out the towel because it looked like that Backlund was going to pass out, and always was basically criticized that he had his boots always loaded and he would tap his top of his boot to get some lead in there and kick you and knock you out. And then he had teamed with Fred Blassie as a manager and teamed up with Nikolai Volkov, and they formed a tag team and won the championships. And I always remember this, and the Iranian flag, and his thing was USA, Puy, Iran #1 all the time. And from what I understand, outside the ring, very, very lighthearted man, very generous man, all family man. And towards the end of the years, his daughter was taking over a lot of his social media accounts and getting back to fans and making sure that if they want autograph pictures that they went out. He's going to be a legend that's going to be missed and remembered.
I have to give WB credit though. That video package they put together for SmackDown and Raw was fantastic.
Oh, it was.
Oh my God, it was fantastic. Well done, well done. And it's funny, I know I have seen WrestleMania 1, and I did see him and Michael Volkov winning the tag team championships. And it's so crazy when you think about that's how he was on WrestleMania 1. It's so crazy. So All right.
Yeah, they beat Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo, if I remember right.
Yes, exactly. All right. Let's move on real quick over to AEW. We're this goes up on Friday, Saturday night. Collision starts. Do we care? Sal, do you care?
Yes and no.
Serious question. Yeah, serious question here. Like, do you care?
Yes, yes and no. I think also if they had fired CM Punk like they should have, I think I would care a little bit more. But now that he's involved in the show and is going to be on, I kind of am like, I wouldn't mind being in bed by 10 o'clock. I mean, by like 9:30.
You know what's funny about that, Sal? The show would not exist if they didn't have CM Punk because Warner Brothers gave them the show because of Punk.
Well, then
The show
there's
wouldn't exist. The show wouldn't exist. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, it's literally here because they wanted CM Punk on the show.
So basically, they were kind of like handcuffed.
Yeah. And apparently Tony loved Punk. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Officially, the first main event, by the way, is CM Punk and FTR. By the way, they're already selling CM FTR t-shirts, by the way. Versus Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Rock Hard, Juice Robinson.
How was that again?
Rock Hard. I can't take too many more times. I thought you guys were hurting. Mandy's
That's what
laughing
she
at
said.
that. Mandy's laughing at that because he hates how I do that attitude anyway because
Yeah.
it makes me laugh.
My whole thing is, I mean, this whole situation started, and I'm not gonna get into
Brawl out.
detail.
Brawl out. Back and Brawl out.
Right. Is
That's what it's called, by the way. That's actually the official title for it. It is Brawl Out.
Brawl, yeah, is that a lot of talent was basically looking at Punk as a cancer, and they wanted him removed. But now he's on Collision. So here's my question: how many of the AEW talent is willing to be on the show when he's on it?
Go to the roster. That's serious. I think the only people we're not going to see on the show probably are going to be the elite.
ROH.
Oh, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
The people I think that won't be on this show, that will be on Dynamite, will be the elite and maybe Moxley. Everyone's like, there's going to be a brand split. There's going to be I don't think there's going to be a brand split. I think it's just going to be they're going to keep the elite and CM Punk probably legally. They probably legally have to keep them apart.
Yeah.
And they'll probably keep them apart for now until pay-per-views. And then pay-per-views come around, like I'll say All Out more than maybe only All Out before even Forbidden Door. Let's Forbidden Door, they announced a match for Punk, which I don't expect. Even though I've heard rumors. And I just keep them separated. So you gotta do. There's really nothing else you can do in that situation. But like, I don't expect to see the elite on Collision. Like, I don't expect it.
Oh no, definitely not.
And apparently him and Mox don't get along either. So.
No.
But Brian Danielson is one of the people actually in Frederick Creative for Collision. So that's intriguing.
So, I mean, would you think it wouldn't be too far-fetched to have CM Punk and Danielson match?
Maybe. I know there's a rumor going around of Punk versus Joe as a feud. Intriguing. I've heard rumors of Punk versus Kenta for Forbidden Door. I just don't see that happening. But if it is, if next week we're talking about Punk versus Kenta, I'll be shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Next week,
yeah.
I'm not gonna bullshit you if we're talking about that next week.
Yeah, I'm straight.
But yeah, I just wanted to mention it because it's starting tomorrow, and I'd like to thank you for giving me something new to watch on Sunday mornings after this week. Because Mandy already said we'll watch this week, but more than likely I'll be watching this on Sunday mornings when I get up because I usually by myself for most 3 hours because Mandy I'm usually up an hour before Mandy gets up, so I have time to myself. So I'll probably watch this on Sunday mornings when I'm sitting for breakfast.
I'm kind of like selling it. I'm kind of on the fence, but
yeah, you're
like
no. Dad, if you're not out on a date, you're gonna watch a Collision. I know you.
My thing is with this is I'd like to see more of the roster talent on this show that you don't get to see.
Like I know Miro is going to be on the show. I heard Andrade is going to be on the Thunder Rosa is going to be on the show.
Right.
People we haven't seen in a while.
Right.
Like I don't know. I guess we'll find out after the first episode. We'll talk about it next week. Because I'm also curious. I want to hear John's reaction because over with him, they just announced today that the UK is getting the show as part of the Fight TV Plus package that he already gets. So we'll have to watch it because it's going to replace some Dark and Dark Elevation on the Fight TV on the Fight Plus stuff over in the UK. So
yeah,
that's a big deal. So I'll have to talk more. We'll talk to him about that next week. You know how he is. It's like,
yeah,
more wrestling to watch. So I'd like to hear his perspective on this next week after the first episode.
Right.
All right, let's jump over to WWE. We're not going to talk a lot of storylines here, but there are a couple things I do want to bring up. First of all, for those who have not been paying attention, because a lot of people don't pay attention to this if you're not watching the news. I know Sal messaged me out of nowhere, and I already heard about it literally a couple hours ago. I was having a chance to talk to him about it. One of those things. So WWE is in the middle of TV negotiations currently, and apparently they had a window for the what was that over at USA Network? I forgot what the company.
Universal.
Thank you, Universal. Universal and Fox had a window of time, and that window is an exclusive negotiating period is now over. So now WWE can negotiate with other companies. And there's been rumors going around a lot about Amazon, and I've heard a lot of rumors about I think Amazon was the top one. But then the New York Post is the one that broke this story that according to Nick Khan, they're apparently negotiating with Disney. And I remember a few years ago, we were joking around how about Disney buying in WWE. And now it looks like they want to negotiate a TV offer, possibly. Or maybe this is WWE's way of upping the offer for USA and Fox. That's another thing they might be doing here. But it looks like Disney is negotiating with Disney to move Raw, SmackDown, and NXT to FX in 2024. And the reason it will be FX is because they're guaranteed to have the shows and not have to move them around because of sports.
For now.
Understandable.
Well, FX doesn't do sports. FX doesn't do sports, so that makes sense to me.
For now.
Problem is, ESPN is losing stuff. Like TNT did the Stanley Cup Finals. TNT did the NBA Finals. Like,
Yeah,
he did everything. Like they literally did everything over there. Like the people were shitting NBA. By the way, if you want to unite NBA and NHL fans, release the final schedules, and then realize that there's space in the schedule for the other sport to have their games.
yeah.
And that's how you unite the fans, because both fan bases were complaining about this.
Yep.
But anyway, any thoughts on possibly this happening, Sal?
I mean, the whole big deal about SmackDown going to network television was such a big deal, and now they're going to take the risk on taking it off network television.
Weird
It
one.
seems a little backwards to me.
And also, why wouldn't they, if Fox offers the deal, and if Disney offers the thing for Raw and NXT, stay on Fox and move over to FX? Almost better for cross promotion, because Disney and Fox have that
Right.
relationship.
Right.
It makes more sense.
Right. I agree.
Dad, your thoughts?
If Disney can do this, that's a feather in their cap. And look at this. FX would be great because, like you said, you don't have any type of other event that was going to conflict.
I don't even know
something
what's on FX anymore. I have zero clue who's even on that station.
You know, I mean, but it'd be
American Horror Story.
story.
Is that it? Is that it? Can I read the
Pretty much.
Something like that? Like,
But I mean, there's no conflicts with other sports or other events like that. So it'd be great because then you don't have to get jumped around and moved around and
what is this,
everything.
AEW Rampage? What is this, Rampage?
But yeah, that would be
Oops.
great. I mean, if they can pull this off, kudos to Disney.
Interesting. I will keep an eye on this as we get closer. Like I said, the WWE contract, TV contract. What's interesting about the TV contracts, by the way, for those who've been following along, the USA and Fox contracts end in 2024, but the Peacock content ends in 2025.
Whoops.
So that's an interesting
Okay.
little twist there that I found that Wrestling Inc. reported. I did not know that. So there you go.
So that would mean the company that would win would have stuff starting 2026.
I don't know. We'll find out. It's an interesting situation, right? It's very interesting how this is going.
Very interesting.
And other things I do want to bring up here. We were joking during the live pay-per-view preview. PLE preview. That we were joking about the women's championships and how the SmackDown belt was on Raw and the Raw belt was on SmackDown, and we were having a good old time with that. Well, finally, this has been fixed. And
Yes.
over on SmackDown, we have Asuka, who did beat Bianca Belair at Night of Champions, and she is now the WWE Women's Champion over on SmackDown.
Correction, she's the WWE Undisputed Women's Champion, which makes no fucking sense to me because
I didn't see that anywhere. I'll check that.
It's on the bottom of the title, actually.
I'll double
Undisputed.
check that. If you're right, I'm not gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna double check
Okay,
it.
wait a minute. If that's what it says on the title belt, then
I'm gonna double check it. I'm gonna double check it. Look at.
if that's the case, then why have another women's title belt?
Okay, so I am looking this up, and officially on WWE's website, it is the WWE Women's Championship. So maybe the belt's just wrong, because according to their website, it says Women's Championship.
Okay.
Okay.
So, so that's that one. Apparently, by the way, this is the belt that originally was the Women's Championship back at WrestleMania 32, when they chopped the Diva Championship and brought it over to Women's Championship, and it
Right.
became a Raw title. So now
Right.
they're just bringing it back to the old title. So it's the same belt that is changing the name.
So
Lineage, same everything. It's just changing the name over.
and
And then over on Raw,
yeah,
by the way, so the difference that made me laugh on SmackDown, they made this big deal before SmackDown that Asuka is getting the brand new championship belt. They made this big production on it on social media. They talked about it when we came on the air on SmackDown. They talked about it during the opening match on SmackDown. The big graphics on the screen. They did this whole big production about it. Raw turns on, and Adam Pearce in the ring saying, "And now Rhea Ripley."
what?
Crack me up.
Wait a minute! Whoa, whoa,
No
hold,
promotion
hold,
about this at all. There was zero promotion.
hold the phone. So they make this big thing about Asuka, but when it comes to Rhea Ripley, it's kind of like an afterthought.
Cracked me up. That cracked me up to know
When does your contract expire?
No, why would she leave? She's the champion. And she's been the biggest storylines in the
But
company.
if you're gonna get treated like shit,
Not treated like shit. I think it was just one of those things where everyone knew it was going to happen, so they didn't bother. talking.
or it's probably a storyline thing.
But it made me laugh, though. It made me laugh. So now she's officially the WWE Women's World Champion. And for those wondering why, because they have the World Champion, the Men's World Champion on Raw, so we might as well have the Women's World Champion also on Raw.
But
I think this is an opportunity to make Asuka the Universal Champion.
please,
Like they missed an opportunity there. Like I'm surprised they didn't do that. To even have her the same as Roman, but whatever.
Universal. Yeah.
I'm surprised. And then the other thing going on, by the way, so I love when stuff happens on SmackDown. Sal doesn't watch SmackDown. And stuff happens on SmackDown, and then either late Friday night or early Saturday morning, I get text messages from Sal freaking out about stuff that happened on SmackDown. Like, I should just DVR the show or watch it the next day because, like, I know this stuff already. I watch it live.
Well, it was new to me, damn it.
So it makes me laugh. It happens every week. Cracks me up
Well,
every
there you go.
every week. But anyway, so the news that came out of SmackDown, besides a bunch of other stuff that's going on and Monday Night qualifying matches and all this
I
kind of
get it.
and the whole thing they had the NXT Tag Team Champions, there was the Women's Tag Team Champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn come out, and they were confronted by Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and one thing led to another. Shayna Baszler was talking about blah 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 blah, and we ended up with a unification match in 2 weeks on SmackDown, unifying the WWE and NXT Tag Team Championships, continuing the trend of the NXT becoming the third brand again because they're bringing a whole bunch of weird shit going on in NXT right now, and I have a feeling NXT now the third brand again. Dad, your thoughts? God, I see you raising your hand
Question.
like you're a child.
Question. Why do you want to unify the belts? I don't get it.
Because there's not enough
I
tag
mean-
teams. Because there's not
I
enough
mean-
tag teams.
The whole thing.
And as NXT?
is,
Like, who cares?
Because honestly, not gonna lie, have you
I
missed?
mean,
Now, let's be honest here.
championship belt.
Dad, be honest here.
Okay.
Be honest with me here.
Okay.
You watch NXT every week
Got
like
it.
I do. Okay? Have you even missed these
Yeah.
tag belts at all? I have not.
The women's competition, yes, because
They have multiple, unlike on regular Raw television or on SmackDown TV, NXT literally on a weekly basis has multiple storylines for women on their show going on outside of the title scene. They don't need those belts over there. And no one remembers they even exist half the damn time anyway when they were champions. Like, I honestly, if you told me when Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, if it wasn't the fact that I love Casey Catanzaro, I would have probably
Yeah.
forgotten they were champions for most of their reign.
I
Oh.
that's the thing is that when some of the better women's tag team got called up to the main roster, and now you've got this. I
What
think
teams? What teams are there? Get
that's
serious.
that
What
that's
teams are
left.
there? In
That's
general,
left.
what women's tag teams are there right now? Ron and Shayna.
Champs.
Ron and Shayna. And okay, fine. Okay, Dakota. Okay, fine. Damage control. Dakota got hurt.
Yeah,
Had damage control. Liv got hurt. So you had Liv and
Yeah.
Raquel. You no longer have them.
right.
Tana Jansen, Kaden Carter. NXT. I can't even think of anybody right now. Except for maybe Lola Vice and Electra Lopez, and that's nothing. Because I think it's just waiting Lola Vice on TV. Because apparently they want to show Lola Vice off his UFC
Well,
experience. and
What about what's her name and her new recruitment? What is it?
Norm Dar's bitches
No.
or Valentina?
The one that has this-
What's her name?
No, the one that has the skunk hairdo, the Brit.
Ooh, Blair Davenport.
The one that was claiming to
Blair
go.
Davenport.
Lindsay- Did you just say Lindsay Davenport?
No, Blair
That's it.
Davenport. Blair Davenport.
Yeah,
He's not a tag team wrestler.
yeah, but she's
She's
got a
with
follower.
Roxanne.
Hang on, she's got a
Roxanne.
hang on. She's got a follower now that basically follows her. So why don't they make a tag team out of them?
Because they don't need to. 'Cause she's in a
They
feud with
do.
Roxanne. She's in a feud with Roxanne currently.
Who?
Like,
Listen,
fact that
listen. This is NXT. They don't even belong on TV anymore. Like they're not even relevant.
said by the person
Yeah,
who
they are.
Yeah, Sal, you don't watch NXT. NXT is probably the best show on television right now, besides maybe this Bloodline storyline. Like, I enjoy NXT better than Raw. You don't watch it.
And
Oh,
Because it's irrelevant.
here's the thing: like,
oh.
their storylines are solid. They're pushing, the right characters
In
and
jail.
the right
They murdered
path.
people. That's awesome.
I'm trying to trigger the kids in the basement.
Tony D'Angelo was literally in jail because he murdered people. Like, that's awesome. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I want to trigger the people that living in their mother's basement.
I mean, look at the match with Nathan Frazier last night.
Oh, yeah. Nathan Frazier beat
I
Noam
thought that was
Dar.
good.
Oh, no, sorry. Nathan Frazier beat Owen Enza, who was wrestling for Noam Dar.
For Norm Dar.
For
So has anyone checked up to see whether or not his injury?
I don't even know who
storyline
was really
is-
not. I don't know. We'll find out next week. We'll find out next week. I have no idea.
Okay.
But
All right.
no.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
anyway, back to what we were saying. Though, 2 weeks we'll have that, and I'm going to guarantee that Ronda and Shane will be champions. They'll pop up. And the point where they're like, "Oh, Ronda and Shane can pop up in NXT." Ronda Rousey's not working on Tuesdays. I'm going to guarantee you, Ronda Rousey will not be working on Tuesdays. So,
That's her me day.
by the way, I have to throw it out there, and this got brought up a bunch of other podcasts.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey went from the biggest star in the world 4 years ago
Uh-huh.
to now being another wrestler at the tag team on the show. Like, I honestly sometimes forget she's on the roster
But
until music hits. Like, I sometimes forget she's around.
she's making appearances and other things. I mean, they've got her on
But my point is though, she used to be a bigger deal.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like she lost her
Mojo?
appeal. Not even her mojo. I think she just lost her appeal because of her attitude, and then she went and she got injured, and then she got knocked up, and then she came back and just like whatever. And I'm just like, I think a lot of people were just like, all right, whatever, go away.
Maybe
Well,
you're
There
right.
was rumors I heard that someone that she knows from UFC is trying to make the same transition.
Oh yeah,
that
I
they
didn't
did.
put that in the notes. You're right. Good call. I didn't put that in the notes. I should probably bring that up. The Amanda Nunes story. I forgot to put that in the notes. That Amanda Nunes retired out of nowhere. I did not see that. Nobody. Although UFC people did not see that one coming. Like they literally did not. I listened to Tom Martin in the fix, and he did. He's one of the biggest UFC people that I know, and he didn't see that one coming. She had to drop. She actually had to put. She had to drop 2 belts and everything. Now then she put out that she wants to train to be a WWE wrestler. I'm like, okay, I don't feel about this at all. Like, I don't know how I feel about it.
I think it would be great, especially if she basically comes out full bore and she's serious about it, a match
I'd
between-
say TK tries to steal her.
See, my thing is
Do what?
if-
Do what? Wrestle on Rampage like Paige Van Zandt?
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
wow,
Ooh, that was a. You just
torture,
ripped that band aid off. It hurt.
torture.
Been a move to
Yeah,
that.
I mean, could you see her against
Yeesh.
someone like Ivy Niles and then eventually, Shayna Baszler?
Maybe. I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm curious. How
Maybe they'll form a former UFC women's stable.
that wouldn't be a bad move, honestly.
The 4 hurt women?
We did the 4 horsewoman, and then it didn't go anywhere. By the way, they missed the opportunity with that, but that's a whole different story. It's a whole different ball game.
Dum-dum.
All right. Real fast. We don't talk about Impact here very often because, well, nobody watches it. But
Oh,
I do
what?
follow along. I do follow along with Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
Last week, by the way, 2 weeks ago we brought up Impact Wrestling because we were making fun of them. We were making fun of Impact Wrestling 2 weeks ago. This week, I do want to bring up because I thought this was pretty damn awesome. The Motor City Machine Guns are now holding both major singles championships in Impact Wrestling. Alex
Wow.
Shelley,
Yay.
Wow.
beat Steve Macklin to become the Impact World Champion, and I don't even know who the X Division champion was, but Chris Sabin is now the X Division champion. So the Motor City Machine Guns in 2023 are the World and X Division champions in Impact Wrestling. I thought that was a very big
And-
deal. This happened
and
last
If
week.
you would have asked if they'd still be relevant in 2023, I probably would have said not really. But
At one point, they were the Impact and GCW Tag Team champions at the same time.
right,
The
right.
last couple in the last year.
My understanding is that Moose's contract is expiring. He doesn't want to renew it, and he wants to go on the independent circuit.
Well, WWE won't touch him.
No,
They won't touch him.
I already heard that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I don't think
What the
I don't
no,
think
that's
TK
fine.
is interested.
Here's the funny part about Moose. Moose, he's a good wrestler. Not a great wrestler. He's a good wrestler. I like him personally, but he's not the best wrestler in the world. But the funny part, the only reason WWE won't touch him is because he has a felony on his record. The same reason why they won't hire Jacob Fatu.
Right.
The irony of that, when we have the Usos part of the front line, is very funny to me. Just saying.
Considering what they've gone and
Yeah, I think that's very funny, especially with Jimmy. And you have the Usos on television every week in a massive, major storyline over on SmackDown, the biggest storyline we've had in years. But they won't hire Jacob Fatu and Moose because they have felonies on the record.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to Jimmy, wasn't that because when he traveled out of the
I don't
country, they
remember.
wouldn't allow him in? Wasn't that
No, they
Canada?
won't. I think it was. He's now allowed in. He's not allowed in Canada. He was allowed in Saudi Arabia this time. He's still not allowed in Canada. So
Yay.
I actually don't know the UK laws. I'll have to ask John. I don't know the UK laws.
I don't know.
I don't know how those laws work. So
Because John is just like the monitor of wrestling ability.
John knows this shit. John does know this shit. That's the funny part. So, all right, real fast. Over to New Japan.
Yep.
They had Dominion. And during Dominion, we had some Forbidden Door updates. Which, by the way, I want to throw it out there. Whoever thought of the idea of Okada Danielson, thank you. I just want to say that right now. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to promote this damn match. Just do the damn match. And I'll be
There
very
you go. There you go.
But also, during Dominion, they announced the G1. And the G1's a very big deal. Obviously, we talk about it every year.
Yep.
They changed the format up a little bit this year. And we have 4 blocks. And how they're doing it now is they're having a mini tournament. And then the winner of the mini tournament at the end after the blocks are going to be the G1 champion. So I like that.
Hey.
Actually. It's interesting.
Okay. Why change it now all of a sudden?
Because they change it every year because they want to try things. Every year they change up the thing. They want to add more wrestlers. They want to have more people involved. It used to be 2 blocks, and now we're at 4 blocks.
Yep.
So like,
That's true. That is true.
I think they want their product to reach more people that way.
yeah. So I'll read off the blocks real fast because I am intrigued by these blocks. I'm not gonna lie. About as many names that I can pronounce. How about that?
Okay.
Block A, you have the world champion Sonata. By the way, he's in block A, and could they keep him an easier fucking block? By the way, as champion, Chase Owens, Hikuleo, Renderia, Shuna Umino, Yoda Tanzi, Gabe Kidd, and I believe this is the
You know,
from Noah, Cody Coda Kimmerblah. I don't know how to fucking say his name.
Kato?
Kato
Whatever.
Kamayora.
Kato, something Japanese.
But he's from Noah, so that's a big deal. The fact they have someone from Noah in here is a very, very big deal. In Block B, we have Okada, Yoshihashi, Taichi, Kenta, Great Okan, Will Ospreay, Tangaloa, and El Phantasmo. Holy fuck, that's a hell of a block.
Yeah, that's a slug. That's a slug block right there.
Holy shit, that's a great block. Block C, we have David Finley, currently leader of the Bullet Club. I keep saying that because it's so ridiculous. That's the thing. Tomomi Ishii, Evil, Tamatanga, Shingo Takagi, Aaron Anane, AEW's Eddie Kingston.
Yay.
But by the way, the fact that Kingston versus Ishii is going to be a block match, it's fucking insane to me.
Oh, jeez.
And Mikey Nichols. And then Block D, we have Tanahashi, Tensei Naito, Hiroki Goto, Zack Sabre Jr., Tom Terriano, which by the way, wow, a Terriano Zack Sabre Jr. match in this block is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Jeff Cobb, Shane Haste, and Alex Kovlin.
You know, I think
these blocks are fantastic.
I think that is like their complete talent roster. If you look at it,
pretty much, except for the juniors.
Right. Right.
So what's interesting about this is they have a bunch of young lions in here from the dojo. They have a bunch of newcomers like Shota Uno and Ronda Rita,
right,
which is a big surprise. And obviously, that B block is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The B block, I think is going to be the one who can survive the best out of. I mean,
we're getting Kenta
slugfest there.
Kenta Okada, Ospreay Okada, Tonga Okada, Ospreay Kenta. Like we're getting stuff like what the fuck? Yeah, and then this is right after Forbidden Door. So I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're talking about Eddie Kingston and Ishii, I mean, they had a match.
Shingo versus Eddie Kingston's happening. What's happening? What the fuck?
Eddie Kingston, I mean, when he talks about strong style, I mean, this is strong style to its max.
Eddie Kingston, by the way, in New Japan lore, does have it on his name that he is the one that pinned Jay White in the Lose New Japan match.
Mm-hmm.
So he does all rights to be here because he is the one that got Jay White out of New Japan.
Yep.
So in their storyline world. So
my understanding too in Forbidden Door, I heard this, that there'll be a match with Sonata, but the opponent has not been named yet.
I haven't heard that at all. So we'll find out next week. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just haven't heard anything yet. And we're obviously only recording this on Wednesday, so we have a bunch of announcements on Dynamite.
Yeah, supposedly,
if you're paying attention and you're listening to Excalibur Speed Read, then you'll catch the matches.
Supposedly, TK is supposed to make the announcement.
Allegedly.
Like he's
TK make another announcement. TK make another announcement. Did he decide the shirt he's wearing this time? Is that what he's doing?
Well, you just got to have two cards to kind of read off of
I saw a meme yesterday. It's like Tony Khan makes an announcement. I just took a poop. I
swear to God, he wears the same outfit every time he's got to make an announcement. I swear to God.
What was the one I sent you that he was gonna solve quantum physics or something?
It's so funny.
Hi, I'm making an announcement. I'll be the next astronaut to go in space. Thank you.
By the way, Dynamite is not the only person making an announcement. Apparently, over on Ring of Honor, he made a big announcement that over on Ring of Honor, who was it? Jerry Lynn and Stokely Hathaway are now the general managers of Ring of Honor.
Okay.
The matchmakers of Ring of Honor now. I haven't watched the show. I saw it in a review. I saw it in a report.
Okay.
Like legitimately or like storyline?
I don't have a clue. I guess storyline. I don't know.
I know Jerry Lynn is the matchmaker.
I know Jerry Lynn does helps a lot with the booking on Ring of Honor, so that makes sense.
He does. Yeah.
But one more thing before we move on. There's a rumor going around. I heard it's on Nick Hoffman podcast.
Okay.
Hossa Wrestling. I like to plug him because he's no longer wrestling. He now does his own website, Hossa Wrestling. And he's actually made an announcement this week on this week's show. Listen to all the work today that Sean Waltman is training to wrestle, and he wants to wrestle for AEW.
Get out.
Say what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
That's intriguing to me. I don't know what. I mean, even if it's a match or two, I'm okay with that because, like,
I mean, no offense to Sean, and there's a lot of things that in his past that he's still got his demons he's got to deal with, and I don't know if he's legit about this or not.
well, I know he's he wrestled in GCW last year. I think last year he had a match against Joey Janela, and then he got hurt in that match.
Wow, I'm shocked.
And didn't he also get hurt in Jerry Lynn's retirement match right before the pandemic? Didn't he turn or something like that before the pandemic?
Yeah.
Like that. I could have sworn I read that he tore his butt on a Bronco Buster in Jerry Lynn's retirement match.
Yeah, something to that effect. He ended up having a hernia, if I remember correctly.
Like I remember he had surgery on his butt. I remember hearing that. So
I mean, if
I think we have the name of our episode.
there you go.
Surgery on his butt.
But
contact me. That's
X-Pac, the butt of all jokes. There you
Oh
go.
my God, surgery on his
I
butt.
mean, if-
I'm writing it down right now. Put down.
If
He had surgery on his butt.
Well-
Episode 466.
the butt surgery, the butt doctor.
Holy fuck.
If Mr. Waltman is very serious and takes it seriously about coming back, then I could see him doing well. I just don't know who he wants to face. That's the
I
whole
don't know.
thing.
I think the word I'm coming around also is that like he's looking at what Sting's doing, and if Sting can do that at his age, why can't he do that himself?
Yeah, but Sting is realizing now that he wants to retire. So
From what I'm hearing, this is going to be his last year. His contract expires at the end of the year, and he's going to retire. Actually,
correct.
so,
But
it's crazy
I
to me
guess
that Edge
from-
and Edge and Sting might retire this year again. Both of them might retire again this year.
But I also understand that they're also letting him have like some duties for like backstage and possibly booking.
Head duties.
I knew you were gonna
Head duties?
say it. I knew he was going to do it.
Duty? You made a duty?
I started coming a mile away.
Oh,
How would you feel, by the way? Let's throw this out there before we do want to get the last thing here. But how would you feel about Sting having his retirement match at All In at Wembley?
I would love
Wow.
that.
That's a rumor.
But they have to like set it up now.
Yeah, like, I've heard
now's
that
the time to
rumor.
set it up.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that rumor. So
Yeah.
like, that'd be.
And against two, and it better not be Jeff Jarrett. I'll be really
I've heard
pissed.
MJF. I've heard MJF.
oh.
I've heard that. I've been hearing that. I don't know how true it is. But that's what I've been hearing.
Wait, for the title?
The title for his
Ooh.
career.
I'd be
Because
okay
of-
with that.
That's I mean because that's what they've been doing with like Darby, like, the whole Darby thing would lead to Sting.
Right.
Right.
I could see that happening. And to fill up Wembley Stadium.
Well,
Oh
they
my
already filled it up. They already filled it. But when it was the stadium almost filled. It's already.
But I mean, but when
70,000
you're
already.
talking about
70,000 already.
but if you're talking about like Sting's last match, I
Oh my
mean,
God, that would sell the rest of the tickets. You're right. That would sell the rest. So, all right. I know Sal says it's irrelevant, but I'm still bringing it up. NXT
ahead.
Crust is happening the next 2 weeks on NXT. They're playing in AEW, and they're doing 2 weeks of one event. I cracked that up. They announced that during NXT this week. The big deal is, first of all, is returning. Is WWE wrestlers wrestling on NXT right now? By the way, main also people on NXT this past week. By the way, can someone tell me when the fuck Mustafa Ali became the fucking badass? Because on NXT he's this fucking badass. On Raw he's this annoying positive thing, but over NXT he's like ridiculous. He's a person. It's awesome. Like why can't this guy be on Raw? Like it's fantastic.
yeah, Mustafa Ali has got this like hard-nosed character kind of gimmick where basically, balls to the
love it.
wall. But
Also, by the way, if you didn't watch SmackDown last week, we had Ali versus Santos Escobar on Friday night SmackDown last week, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. That was a great match for a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. That was a great match. But it's like Mustafa Ali be this person on the main roster once in a while because the NXT Ali has been amazing. We'll get to that in a minute though. So on week 1, let's pick NXT. First of all, for some reason, I don't know what the reason here is. Dana Brooks back in NXT. I don't know why. And she had the match with Corey Graves.
What? Excuse me? You can't just throw that kind of news at me and expect me to be like, oh, okay.
I mean, are they looking for her to be a trainer eventually?
No,
or
no.
what?
You know what made me laugh? And this got brought up on the NXT What's the Name podcast today.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
saw the video package that they put up at NXT, it made her look like her main roster run has been this amazing, like 5-star.
So-
It
so-
looked like the returning fucking hero to NXT. Amazing.
Remember what she said? She wanted the 24/7 title to transform into a mid card title for the women.
Yes, I remember that.
Like,
So-
bitch, are you kidding me? This is a joke title. Come on now.
So would it be too far fetched to say she's like the new Mandy Rose?
But
no, she
Mandy
is
Rose-
not the next Mandy Rose.
to her credit, though, again, I don't know. Maybe the NXT environment is a lot more looser down there. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. But Dana Brooke did a promo explaining why she's here, and I'm like, wow, this is the most I've been to Dana Brooke in like 3 years.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It was well done. It was a really good promo. She actually looked like it didn't look like she didn't belong here. It was actually really interesting. She's having a match against Cora Jade next week.
Ugh.
Yep.
Yes.
Freaking to me. We have a number one contendership match for the tag team championships, put together in one of the most bizarre fucking ways I've ever seen. So, Stassi, you haven't been watching. I'm explaining this storyline, how we got to this match.
Okay.
The winner of this match is facing Gallus in week 2 of Gold Rush for the tag team titles. Obviously, the last time we left you, Brooks and Jensen were having their feud, and they had that mixed tag match on NXT, and then they had that Meg match, and then they got back together because Briggs and Fallon Henley won, and Jensen got broken up with, so they got back together. So then,
Okay.
Tank Lander and Hank Walker were having a conversation with Brooks and Dunn over there, and they go and
Brooks
say,
and Jensen.
"What?" I know. I said what I said.
Okay.
No, I said what I said.
I was like, wait, is he being serious right now?
I know what I said.
Boot scootin' boogie.
And said, well, how did you guys get closer? Because they had a match against each other. So that led to Tank and Hank having a match against each other. Just because. Because they wanted to get closer as a tag team.
Okay.
What made it funny was they came out to their tag team entry music together and then had a match against each other. That was funny. So they do
But wait,
that.
there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. I'm not done yet. This is like 2 years ago. So we have this match, and then they fight that. Then they have this backstage promo with Malik Beta and Aldous Anofe, who having a little bit of trouble as a team. I swear to God, this is a conversation that happened in the back. They said, "Well, what happened? You guys fought each other, suddenly you're closer." And you know the whole joke when you were like with a related in television shows when you were trying to show how close you are with your girlfriend, and you're like, say the first thing that comes to mind. And Tank and Hank did that bit.
God.
Like, favorite color, blue, birthday, like they did this bit on NXT. I'm like, what is going on here? So
Favorite food.
that led to Malik Blade and Edge Anofe realizing we don't know each other that well, to the point where Blade asked Anofe, when's my birthday? He didn't know it, which cracked me up. That made me laugh. So that led to NXT, the two of them having a match.
Okay.
Yep.
And during the match, the Brooks and Dunn and Tank and Hank came out and around the ring, and they got in the ring, and then they got an announcement from Booker T saying that they're having a triple threat match next week between these teams, and the winner faces Gallus.
Wait, you missed.
Oh no, wait! Oh, that was the important part about these teams. Earlier in the show, on Tuesday night, we had a match. It was Axiom and Scripps, who is Reggie, who is unmasked, and now is Scripps.
Again.
Okay.
Oh, I know. My favorite part of this now is Axiom and a match of Scripps. Axiom unmasked Scripps. Everyone realizes this is Reggie except for Booker T, which made me laugh.
Yeah. Oh my God! I would have never. Yeah.
You know the crowd been chanting his name for weeks. That made me laugh. So then,
You better watch out, Blake, because the haters might come after you about
the
that
backstage
comment, by the
interview.
way.
In a backstage interview, I swear to God, this was said. I'm not joking about this. Reggie says to Axiom, "My friends call me Scripps, so I prefer to be Scripps." So Axiom and Scripps are now a tag team. And then he
Okay.
stopped against Babatunde. What's his actual name? What's his actual name? Dad.
Which one?
The guy who was with Apollo Crews.
Oh, Peter Deal.
You know,
Dabakato, thank you. Dabakato. I remember his old name. I couldn't remember his actual name. Babatunde is a better name. I'm sorry. But Dabakato. They had a 2-on-1 match against Dabakato this
Baba
week.
Booey.
So I'll come back to that. I have a funny story about that. We went to that. So they have a 2-on-1 match against him. They win. They win.
Okay.
And I'm like, first of all, can I just say though, their tag team chemistry for the fact they never tagged together was fantastic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's actually really cool. That's a good thing. And you want to know who? And after the match, they're celebrating and they get jumped from behind.
Bye.
Angel Garza and Alberto Carrillo.
Are you
Los
kidding me?
Lotharios are now invading NXT.
I couldn't believe it.
Did Tony Khan write this show?
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what
No,
is happening?
this is all
Shawn Michaels. This is all
HBK. Swear to God.
Shawn Michaels. Oh my God. So that's happening. So anyway. Oh yeah. So anyway, moving on back to Gold Rush. We have the NXT North American Championship. It is Wesley against Tyler Bate. I don't know why I put it on there. I was typing really fast. And special guest referee, Mustafa Ali. The reason he's special guest referee is because is because he actually went and told them a couple weeks ago, we're gonna have a 6-man tag match next week on NXT against the Schism. And after that match, then you two should have a 1-on-1 match to save the championship. So and Tuesday night he said, you guys are gonna have your match. You should have your match next week. And just so there's no bias as refereeing, I'll be the special guest referee.
Oh, okay.
I see him knocking off both of them and trying to get the title.
I'm not gonna lie, I picked a triple threat match at the July NXT PLE. I'm not gonna lie.
Great American Bash?
Yeah, I expect to have a triple threat match.
That could be fun.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, actually. It'd be a lot of fun.
And for him to get the title would be
interesting. That's actually someone believable. I could see being Wesley as Ali. I'm not gonna lie, he is someone I could believe beating Wesley. And in the main event next week, I can't believe I'm saying this sentence, but it's happening.
Go ahead.
Braun Breaker at the end of last week's NXT, right? We're going off the air. The show's over. And he is in the back and he gets interviewed on the way to his car. And he calls out Seth Rollins. Out of nowhere. He called out Seth Rollins. So we start this week. And by the way, not brought up on Raw at all. This was not brought up on
I
Raw.
was just gonna say, I'm like, was this mentioned on Raw? Because
No, it was not brought
No.
up during a commercial during the third hour. But it was not brought up at all by Seth whatsoever. What do you think? You would bring it up? Or by commentary or something. Someone would bring this up on Raw. Nobody brought it up. But Braun came out on NXT and said, well, since Seth is doing open challenges, all this kind of stuff, and by the way, he is doing, and he wants to be this fighting champion, come down and fight me. And the crowd is already singing Seth's song during all of this, which is also really bizarre on NXT television. Hearing Seth's song on NXT TV. So then Seth pops up on the screen at the NXT arena and cuts his promo and accepts Braun's challenge. And next week on NXT will be Seth defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Braun Breaker.
How is that legal?
Okay, here's my question. Is this a way of getting Braun on the main roster?
I guess. I don't know. But by the way,
Well,
so
no,
Braun,
because he's not gonna win.
exactly, Braun's not going to win, but unless he follows Seth over and says, I want to challenge you on your turf or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm looking at.
By the way, the other thing I want to say, Sal, if you have a chance, look up Braun Breaker's outfit from Tuesday's show. He came out looking like a fucking pastor arriving at church with a blackout outfit, looking like with a cross around his neck.
What?
The only thing was missing was the white collar.
Yeah, go to NXT. Maybe he would look like as Manny said, he looked like a deacon. Look at me out.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You know who his dress remind me of is Brother Devon.
Yeah. Well, I'm more like Batista. More like Deacon Batista.
But you notice that now that Braun has his full beard, which basically, when you look at him, he's a younger version of Rick Steiner. You could tell. Dead on.
Isn't his dad, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, Rick is his dad.
I like
Scott's his uncle.
Kind of makes sense. It should look. He really should look like a younger version of his dad. Just being
I
honest.
mean,
Like,
I gotta give credit that Braun's got moves like his dad, but he cuts promos like his uncle.
I can see that. So that's
Oh,
happening
you
next
just-
week on Gold Rush. The week after, you found
The
it.
week after,
You just found it. Oh, by the way, my favorite part of the video I sent you now is Braun like breaking character and reacting like a fan that Seth is coming to the NXT arena. That was my favorite part of the watching it live. But anyway, so the week after, on week 2, we have 2 more championship matches. Well, 3 championship matches technically, because it's Gallus versus the winner of that triple threat. And it's Tiffany Stratton defending against Thea Hale, who won a Battle Royal last week for the NXT Women's Championship. And then we also have NXT champion Carmelo Hayes defending against Baron Corbin.
why?
At least we're doing it here and not a Great American Bash.
Okay, that works.
That's how I look at it. That's the
That works.
I got.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. The chances of Baron Corbin getting the belt are
Or as
like,
good as Dolph Ziggler's was.
there you go.
He
Exactly.
won. My point was Dolph won.
I know,
That was my
but
joke.
but look what happened, later on. I mean, I don't see them taking the belt off of Carmelo Hayes, not now, not and putting on Baron Corbin. That would just be a grave misjustice of character.
I hope, because they had a match this past Tuesday. It was Dragunov versus Corbin, and the winner faces Carmelo. I hope it's one of those things where they're getting the Corbin match out of the way for ratings, and they're
Mhm.
going to give us the Hayes versus Dragunov
Yes,
at the Bash.
yes,
I hope that's what
exactly,
the culmination of this is. personally.
exactly. Because if they don't do that, then I don't know where Shawn Michaels' head is at, because your gold match is Hayes and Dragunov. That's the golden match.
I agree. I agree. So that is NXT Gold Rush.
See what I did there? Gold Rush. Yeah.
Any other wrestling thoughts before we end the show? Sal, anything you got? Or are we good?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Well, Dad, anybody dying that we need to know about before we end the show? Or are we good?
No. As far as I know, everyone is okay and hopefully injury free for the most part.
I just wanted to make sure, because the last time I asked that question, the person you mentioned died, like right after we ended the show. So I just wanted to make sure we were good.
No, so you're blaming me?
Oh, if you want me to, we can.
No, okay. Well,
Still blame. Okay.
I
Little behind the
fell
scenes
in
story.
my mother's basement.
Before I
I
good.
have something really quick. There's a rumor going around on Twitter that Hulk Hogan wants to have one more match at WrestleMania 40.
Fuck no.
Fuck the Hogan.
Who's the opponent going to be? Abdullah the Butcher?
Jesus Christ. I just want to say one more thing. That
Fuck Cody Rhodes.
I will say one thing. I will blame you for that as much as I still blame Sal for the unification of the Raw and SmackDown championships.
I did not want that to happen.
Okay, here's my last wrestling thought before we do our thing. No more flipping unification matches. Damn it! It doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. On that note, I'll hit this. We're gonna close the show with we're gonna do a song by Ed Sheeran that was actually in the final episode of Ted Lasso that aired a couple weeks ago. It's called A Beautiful Game. And I will just say this right now. Ted Lasso finale might be the most perfect finale I've ever seen. Like, it might just be the most perfect stories finale I've ever seen.
Do you need Kleenex for this one?
I don't, because I thought I was crying like I was during the Flash, and I was not crying because every time you were going to cry, they threw a joke in to make you laugh.
Ah, got
I
it.
greatly appreciate it, because there were so many moments where I'm feeling it, and then they threw something in there knowing the audience is going to cry, and they threw a joke in. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, all right, Sal, take it away. Go.
More information on our show, including where you can find us on social media, and then talk crap about us on TikTok, or watch our show on YouTube. Go to theblakeandsalshow.com. Don't forget to comment or leave a rating and review, and we will make fun of you and read it on the show.
All right, Dad, say your thing.
Hey, as always, it's been your pleasure, and I don't live in my mom's basement. And if you want to know my true age, You can ask me by,
Sending you $1.
yeah,
Tried that with Patreon. It didn't work.
No, that's right.
you can write into our show and ask, and I will gladly tell you. Hey, if you happen to have a local independent wrestling organization where you live at, please go to these matches, watch these young up and coming superstars, and you'll be amazed on their character, their promos, and their finishers and what they can do to basically get to that brass ring to a major wrestling organization. But do so safely, and hey, let's be kind to one another. It doesn't take any extra effort, doesn't cost anything. So please, let's do that. The world will be a nicer place for everyone.
May I rebuttal? It takes a lot of fucking energy to be nice. Just saying.
It does. I'm starting to lose hope in this world now, so don't worry about it. I'm starting to lose hope.
I got one last thing. Kia boys, I believe in karma. So what goes around comes around. It's gonna bite you in the ass. And you know what? I don't care.
All right. On that note, next week we're going to be here with John Parker, and we're going to discuss Forbidden Door, AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. That being said, let's get out of here. I'm Blake.
I'm sorry.
I'm Mark.
And you've been listening to the Blake House Show with Mark. Have a good day, everybody.
And I still don't live in my mother's basement.
See ya.
Bye. Love you guys.
Out of the empty will rise from the ashes, write in the stars with our names. That we are here, we are bruised, we are damaged, but the joy was worth the pain. Oh, love's a beautiful game.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Bye bye, bitch.